Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 141, A Wish at What Cost? Season of the Wish is kicked off this week, and, fully monetized and ready to go for you to spend your time in-game grinding, going back and feeling like it's Forsaken all over again, or go spend your money in Eververse to make yourself look cool. Or get materials. If you were just starting out the game. Starting out, Season of Wish is not too good on Reddit right now. A lot of people are not happy. Usually the first week of the season, usually maybe the first 2 weeks, not everything's unlocked yet. It takes a little while to get into to see what the loot grind is going to be, see how long it's going to take to get the seasonal weapons done, whatever little goodies Bungie throws in there along the way. Dungeon hasn't dropped yet, so even though at the start of this season, it's everybody's putting it down. Let's just give it a couple weeks to settle out and see where it go.
Yeah, I have a good amount of thoughts on the dungeon once we get there and the TWID. But I don't think we don't have a dungeon in the EDZ yet, right? We've only ever had the exotic mission for
the Cosmotron.
What was the exotic mission that we had there? That's the only thing that I think. Oh, well, we've had two exotic missions there actually, Hawk Moon and the Glaive. But
but the Glaive was in the Vex network.
Yeah, I know, but
we still need to do. We still need to do one of those.
yeah, we still need to do that. Yeah. I do have ideas for punishments, Ryan. So putting that out there for you, so you already know. Because you've asked me twice and I literally haven't thought of it. This morning I was like doing my lore stuff and I'm like, oh, I should think of that. So I wrote some stuff down and I'm like, I think the Jared one is solid, set in stone. The Ryan one I'm kind of flip flopping. So I think by the time we get there, I'll probably have it locked in. Because the problem is the punishments that I could think for you would be things that you would like to do anyway. So I'm like, well, there's got to be something that he would do, but not be happy about it for a little bit. So I'm like, I'm trying to figure it out.
All right, let's see if this works.
What we seeing if what works?
Restream.
Oh, okay.
There's always like, if I was smart, I would make a thing at the bottom of the rundown that's like, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this on like my voice meter, but I don't ever do that.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I got the message. We are live, dog.
Okay. First week of the Destiny season. Pretty exciting. Exciting.
Is it exciting?
I mean, the dungeon's so far the most exciting thing.
I mean, you don't have a little more excitement coming home from work knowing that there's new content for you, even though it's light or reskinned?
Yeah, I was, there was something there, a little eagerness.
Okay.
We definitely have to, as a trio, go into the coil and and be strategic about it also.
Mm.
Because there's like the final room, there's like 6 chests you can get. So there's some loot in that room. So and it's difficult. So I think that we would have in the interim before we get GMs, I think we would have fun there. I mean, besides the dungeon. I think that's basically what our thing is going to be, is just in the coil trying to get loot until all our red borders are done, and then dungeon and GMs.
Have we really figured out why when I went in solo I couldn't get enough points to do the stuff?
Did you break all the jars?
Yeah. So I don't know if something's going on with the solo.
Maybe they toned down the enemies, so it's not providing enough points.
Yeah, you just don't get enough points, maybe.
All right. Let me pee, and then I'll be ready to roll.
No, you're not allowed. I didn't think you'd actually stop. Are we on the YouTubes already?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we are. Because you gave your intro. A wish at what cost? Oh man. Did you see the post that Bungie put on Reddit? I think a little while ago.
I saw some tweets they put out.
Okay, it might have been like a copy paste of the same thing.
Mm.
So we'll talk about that too.
Let's see what else. What's going on? So dungeon drops tomorrow at noon. Us three will be working at that point. Basically, probably around this time tomorrow, maybe a little bit sooner. We'll be jumping into the dungeon blind and seeing what we can do from there. I think we're just going to continue the 1 hunter, 1 titan, 1 warlock thing. Usually gives us coverage.
I mean, all our characters are
simple enough coverage for.
All our characters are maxed, so we can obviously, like Jared and I, can flop between any of them.
Yeah.
And then Ryan is most comfortable on warlock because if we end up needing a DPS strat, he ends up just whipping out divinity on his warlock. But we can triple warlock, double titan warlock, or just keep it 1-1-1 if we need that invis hunter running around. So we're pretty well set up by now, since they haven't changed the power levels, which is nice.
Yeah.
So if we need double wells and a invisiboy, I can switch to warlock, no problem. So
I don't think it's really going to come to that, you know.
I don't think so either, but you know, we can flex play. We're ready to go.
Not on normal mode, anyways.
No. What are you taking in there? Oh, we'll talk about that later.
I'm gonna give people a sneak peek.
We'll talk about
it's basically Celestial Nighthawk right now.
Okay.
It's pretty stupid fun.
That's fair enough.
Then if not that, I mean, I haven't tried out some of the Charge of Galanor. How it's like got its decreased cooldown with melees and and stuff. Like, it's pretty good. It's probably a little bit more better at and general eye clear of
Okay.
getting stuff done. But yeah, Celestial's has been it as of right now.
All right. I'm gonna click the button. You guys good?
Yeah.
Yep.
Eyes up, Guardians. We are live for episode 141 of the Conqueror's Corner podcast. Today is Thursday, November the 30th. I am the Destiny bad boy, NotRyanFox, and I have returned with my fire team, who all of you CCPs know by now. Jared?
Hey everyone, Season of Wish is kicked off on some rough waters. We're gonna get into that, and also, if you didn't enjoy Forsaken in the past, get ready. You're gonna try to enjoy it this time.
And the chronicler himself, chadocero.
We got some dragon lore. Today we're going to be going into the lore for the armor. And I have some ideas for next week, but we'll leave it at that.
And as a reminder, if you're watching us on YouTube or Twitch live, thank you. But don't forget that you can take us on the road via Spotify, iTunes, and other podcast services. Make sure you subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, click the bell, turn on notifications, yada, yada, yada. Follow us on Twitter /X at DestinyCCPod. Send us a punchy friend request. We want to play games together. We got some kind of new content. We got reskinned content, reused assets. I don't know how to describe it. But we do have a lot to discuss, seeing as how it is the first episode after the new season launches. But before we get into that, let's listen to the intro music, which is brought to you by Link, who you can find on Twitter at LinkOfTimeG. 137.
Oh, that one's not bad. That one's not bad. Squigs. Okay.
Wobble, wobble, wobble. Wow, Link. Awesome job. Thank you. Jared?
All right, the Twid. It's kicking off with showing that Final Shape delayed officially till June 4th of 2024. Just in case you're looking ahead down to June, that puts that raid probably dropping on the 14th. So choose your dates wisely for requesting time off. After that, it's Joe Blackburn, 7-minute video. Talk about, just a general update of what's going on at the studio and that people are working on Destiny 2, trying to get it better, improving it. And we got a little something extra coming about 2 months before the Final Shape releases, called Into the Light. Help people that has not been playing Destiny to get into it, and also just get everybody on board on the same page going into the Final Shape. After that, we got some Crucible updates. One change is control will be selectable mode, while modifiers like Sparrow control are featured. Second change, momentum will not be featured over the main control node. It will be instead cycle through quick play rotator. A clarification, checkmate control will only be featured as the main control mode for the first 5 weeks of the season, after which you can find checkmate in labs. And that way they wanted if you did not want to play Control match with Sparrows, you could opt out of it. And yeah, I think Checkmate's pretty fun, but I'm not somebody that really grinds out Crucible unless it's Iron Banner week. So hopefully those people that enjoy playing Crucible enjoy this rotating of the Control playlist.
I thought we were going to be Crucible All-Stars this season.
That's what you said.
You all discussed that in the podcast that I missed, and I never agreed to it.
I never agreed to I never agreed to anything outright ever. Usually.
We'll see how well I just enjoy this overall season. If I'm enjoying the season, then I'll probably end up playing Crucible. But the other parts have to be enjoyable too. Because that means I'm usually playing Crucible waiting for everybody to get on to go do PvE stuff together.
The only bad part is I think we're going to run out of PvE stuff.
We usually do. We postpone it to the final week of the season. One of the two. Also coming, that going on today actually was the Fireteam Finder beta plan, and it was going through raid stress tests from November 30th, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that means it ended a little more than 2 hours ago. The next beta begins in December, pending some stress test results. And a full release is targeting late January. I understand why they're putting this in game. It's for a lot of people to enjoy parts of the game that they don't really have, maybe clanmates or friends that play the game to go enjoy. And hopefully it helps them. But yeah,
I don't know. I'm more upset with the time for the beta test.
Yeah. During a work day, they could have done it on like a Sunday.
Yeah, or
Saturday.
God forbid somebody at Bungie works after 5 p.m. on a weekday. Like, just blows my mind. No weekends, nothing after 5. Can't do it.
I want to know what percentage of the players in the game currently that are active are not in a clan. Because
you'll never
that
get
could
that
give
data.
you I never would. But those are the people that I feel might be more leaning towards using it, because some of them might be like, well, what if I can find, a group and of people that want to play. And if you're one of those, hit us up. But there's lots I want to know that. Like, is it a solid half of active players? Or I'm biased, obviously, because I only ever interact really with clanmates or people that are in stuff. It's not often that I see players that aren't in a clan, because you can see that they don't have a clan tag. So I'm just curious, because I feel like that would be the demographic that would use that the most, or clans that are looking to fill like 1 or 2 spots on a raid.
Yeah, I thought it'd be nice, like, after we get out of the DMs and then we like ping the entire clan, just use it after that. Might be handy.
Yep.
The only issue is going to be getting people into Discord chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not doing game chat.
Nope.
Well, doesn't the Xbox have the app now? The Xbox can do it at least.
Yeah,
or
but
no?
it's not
It's
not integrated into Destiny 2.
Gotcha. So it's still poopy. Gotcha.
It's capable. Like I play BattleBet, and BattleBet's integrated with Discord. Like, you join a server, it says, "Hey, click this link if you want to go to the server page on Discord and get into a chat for like the server that you're in."
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
So, yeah. All right. Next week. Next week is going to be Iron Banner. Iron Banner Tribute. So it's a new game type here. Players will be able to deposit crests in the tribute stations to earn points for their team. And banking mini crests at once can trigger a hunt phase, which activates a special tribute station and increases the value of all crests deposited for 1 minute of gloriously chaotic gameplay. And take care, as Guardians won't be the only things guarding those high value tribute stations. Cabal will be watching Guardians, so let's just show Keitel what you're made of.
Also, which they put in a post, I think they put on Twitter and on Reddit, good old Salad Bar will be selling year 1 and 2 armor. So if you didn't play year 1 or 2, you can get the armor. And Jared's shaking his head.
What's wrong, Jared?
And you can make it in ornaments.
Dude, like, that's so dumb. That's so much wasted work by the people at Bungie to get those ornaments into the game. Like, so what that you wasn't around to play the game at there? That sucks. You know what? You shouldn't have been playing Fortnite. You should have been grinding Destiny 2 at its worst days. That's what you get. That's why you would have those ornaments. If there are them other people that weren't grinding the game at that point, screw you. You shouldn't be able to get the ornaments.
I mean, that's part of the reason I want Leviathan to come back is because there's lots of armor in there I don't have. Because I didn't play with you guys then. I didn't have an active group. I was essentially a solo player until the end of year 2 when I think I joined Spirit Animals. So there are so many sets of Leviathan armor that I only have like 2 pieces of, which isn't saying a lot because I'm still missing 3 pieces in Crota, the last dungeon, and Root of Nightmares. I'm still missing 2 pieces of armor per character in Root of Nightmares, 3 per character in Crota, and 2 per character in the last dungeon, Ghost of the Deep. But I didn't have a lot of playtime in Leviathan, and I'm not clamoring for them to make ornaments or to make it earnable some other way. I want them to bring back Leviathan fully so that I can earn it. But like, I'm like, well, they already have it in game, so do you just want to make it so they can't get it ever?
Yeah. Yeah, if you wasn't there to earn it at the time, then you don't get it.
Listen, if you can't handle Destiny 2 at its worst, you don't deserve it at its best. I would think that's kind of what Jared's trying to say there. So, if you couldn't handle it during those days, back whenever we're running around with Osiris, getting, tokens and blues and everything else, then you don't deserve it. Just don't.
Yeah.
Remember D1 turning in a legendary engram for a blue or a green?
Oh, yeah. Or finally getting a legendary armor drop after weeks and it being for a different character class that you don't even have.
Yeah, that's the only reason I created other characters, because that happened like 4 or 5 times. I'm like, no, I'm done with this.
Yeah, if you weren't there when like everybody was running Minor Multi-Tool and the number, like you don't deserve to have the armor pieces, the ornaments. You just don't. All right.
Here's my only other thought on that is, do you use it as ornaments at all?
Yes.
Even
with the Warlock helmet,
I do.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I don't care. I don't care if people get armor so they can use it as an ornament, because I don't care for that.
Those are the ones I use to get the Iron
I understand
bonus multiplier.
It's exclusive to the dark days. Keep it that way. I was there. This is my proof. I get that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Tomorrow is a new dungeon that waits in It is going to be called Warlord's Ruin. So be ready to test how strong your Guardian's how ready really it is. To access the Warlord's Ruin, you must pick up the Shadow of the Mountain quest from Ikora in the tower and launch that activity from the EDZ node in the director. The final encounter difficulty is set to 1810, so be sure to bring your best gear.
So stoked. I love dungeons. I like puzzles and I like stuff, and I like playing with these two homies doing hard things. And it's only really hard because we don't know what's going on at first. First run's always the worst. Now I'm going to go in blind. I don't know if Jared's going to. For the last couple, what Jared does is he has been watching them and then gives me like a good, 4 or 5 tries to figure out the mechanics, and then goes, all right, here's how we do this. But you're going in blind with us?
Yeah,
Yeah, he is, because it's Game Boy Corner related.
Oh, okay, perfect. I like it. So, I like puzzles, even if the dungeon's only meh. I still like them. They're still fun. But I do like that it's not what people were saying, which is just what they were saying. It was backward Shatter Throne, just in the Dreaming City instead of the what is it? The Throne World, taking Throne World version. Which I'm like, that would have been neat to have like the Shattered Throne, but in the Dreaming City world, so it's like the Dreaming City assets, not like the Taken black and white and everything's monochrome. But no, I'm stoked. We're going to storm a castle. It's a legit castle that is not Felwinter's Peak, by the way. But it's a warlord's castle. So it's a warlord's castle that killed an Ahamkara and kept the remains there, is what we're guessing. Guesses are that it might be the Wake, which is the castle, the warlord who the Drifter stole from. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what kind of story is in there, what kind of lore is on the weapons and the armor. I'm excited to get into that. They also announced that the rocket sidearm is in that dungeon. So Jared's new favorite weapon archetype is going to be in there. And we don't even know anything about they haven't given us like cowboy armor hints, nothing. We don't know anything yet. So I'm hoping it's like the Dark Ages style armor and weapons. Like if it's weapon and armor from the Dark Ages, which weirdly could be modern weaponry, just like rusted or something like that, like full on modern tactical gear style weapons and armor, because that's technically the Dark Ages was right after the fall of humanity, and the height of humanity wasn't very far into our current future. So modern style weapons and arms would be interesting, but we'll see what foundry they decide to pick. Although the last one was just, it wasn't really a foundry, was it?
No.
It was just Neopop Titan themed.
Yeah, Chad pretty much hit it on the head there. It looks exciting, and hopefully this is, it's up there with as those experiences go. Like Prophecy's up there, Shadow Throne's up there. Hopefully it's on like how good those were, and not like Ghost of the Deep kind of meh. And then I think like middle of the road dungeon is the one on the moon. What's that, Chad? What's that one called?
Pit of Heresy.
Yeah, Pit of Heresy. Like that's like if a dungeon's consistently like Pit of Heresy, I'm gonna most likely enjoy it and play it. But yeah, all right. This season of the Wish, there's some dates to keep in mind so that way you can plan out what you're going to be doing. So of course tomorrow's the dungeon. On Tuesday, December 5th, is Iron Banner starting for a week. The next Tuesday, December 12th, the Dawning starts. Should be going for 3 weeks. Grandmasters begin the following Tuesday on December 19th. Crucible Labs Checkmate Countdown to Rush is December 26th. Iron Banner again on January 2nd. Crucible Labs Checkmate Class on January 16th. And Iron Banner again there at January 23rd. So 2 Iron Banners starting in the month of January. What, didn't you say it's going to be a PvP heavy season, Fox?
Yep, it sure is. That's back whenever they cared a little bit. PvP kept this game going in the dark times, you know. But it's gonna be a real dark time come February, March.
Yeah. Yep. Still, it sure is.
5 months away. 4 months away.
Yeah. Well, this season we'll have a few activities for us to get there. The first one here is a Riven's Lair. The Armcar are at the brink of extinction, and the only way to keep them from, dying out is to grab Riven's remaining eggs, and that way she will grant us the wish of trying to get back and chasing the witness. So that is making the deal with the wish dragon. Before even they can twist our wish, we gotta get her all the eggs in one basket. Along with that, it brings a
have you guys any predictions for like what we're going to be fighting in the lair? Like, do you think it's going to be like an opening encounter, a boss, like a puzzle encounter, and then a final boss? Do you think they'll break that formula up?
Riven's Lair? That's open, dog. You can play it right now.
Yeah, no. I mean, I was kind of I really wasn't listening to the Riven's Lair part. I was kind of thinking about the dungeon that he had mentioned. Like, expectations dungeon-wise, are you thinking 2 bosses, 3 bosses, puzzle, 2 puzzles?
I'm expecting an annoying opening encounter followed by a long traversal climbing of a staircase, and then hit one mini boss, and then you get to jump into the boss arena.
That sounds right.
Yeah, that's disappointing if so.
It's been the formula.
The last dungeon was so bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost taken my. I'm not as excited as I wish I was for this one.
Oh yeah, I'm just keeping Ghost of the Deep in mind the whole way through this dungeon. And if it gets real comparable to it, then I'm just like, okay, this is just it. This is what they want this game to be.
Get the exotic and move on.
Yep. But
for the record, I did Riven's Lair earlier today, so I do know it's already in the game.
Yeah. Just you were 3 topics late, so I was.
You're right. I was working on some technical issues. I was doing some producer shit on this side. Okay.
Yeah. So the other activity that's going on in the sea is called the Coil. It's basically 4 laps around doing these little missions. And it's going to rotate per week of what loop is like the first to the last, 1, 2, 3, 4. And next week it's going to be 2, 3, 4, 1, and then 3, 4, 1, 2. You get what I'm saying. So that first wave, everything's at the same power as you. When you go back around for that second run, the enemies are now 5 more above. So that fourth go around, the enemies are 20 above you. So that's like master difficulty at that point. And along the way, you got to shoot some bosses, get a high enough score to open up some secret doors, get a platinum score. You get like a super 6 chest opening treasure room. So 3 of us haven't been in there together yet to try to do that. I've only worked on it doing solo. I did like 2 waves. Like, all right, this got a little bit more difficult. It's like I'm starting to like this. And then I started reading that you can get those doors open, but they're doing it fire teams of 3, not in a solo. So that's the next step. Experiencing coil with the 2 buds here.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like so for solo, enemies are easier to kill, but you don't get as many points as you're in a group to open the doors. So I think that's the trade-off that you're making there. But yeah, I definitely want to get in there with all of you guys because you can basically like they were doing with Asa, you can it's a better version of that and a better version of the cards from last season where you can pick a buff, and if you don't want the buff and you want to buy a better buff on your next go around, you can do that instead and keep hold of your shards until you get around on the second go around or third. So you can definitely do some crazy stuff. I like the first coil that I went through, I saw that there was a class recharge rate increased by 300%, and I was on my Abandoned Leap Strand Titan, and I was like, oh, yeah. And so I was just putting up little barriers everywhere, suspending everything in front of me constantly, and it was hilarious. I was having a fun time. So going in there with you guys, getting to the parts where it's actually more difficult and we have to actually think a little bit, is good, especially since we don't have GM content right now. So doing something where we actually have to be like, okay, hold on, I'm gonna let's take a step back here because I died twice in a row right now. So let's take a minute to regroup. But I definitely want to get in there with you guys soon.
So the loot that while you're in there you're going to be chasing is seasonal weapons wise. We're going to have a strand slug shotgun that you can get 4 times the charm and Vorpal on. You have a linear fusion rifle, you have a fusion rifle, and then also you have a bow. And along with that, they brought back the Vex offensive weapons, and we'll be getting yet another craftable void hand cannon. I think this makes number 4. So it's just, we really like those void hand cannons.
It's a 180 this time, I think.
Yeah, so was Ward of Crota. We just got that one last
right,
season.
yeah.
So like, whoa. Yeah. Then we got a scout rifle, pulse rifle, and an SMG there coming back. Yeah. So 8 weapons to chase and be able to unlock some red borders for in the season. We did not get new seasonal exotics to chase. That's for armor. I guess we're going to hold those back for final shape. Maybe just drop it with that. Dragon's Breath is the seasonal weapon in the season pass. You gotta get to 35 on the free track, and then it's an instant unlock if you pay for the season.
Make sure you grab that like right off the rip too. That way you can pick up the catalyst from the gunsmith and get started on it. I think the first step is like killing bosses and killing scorched enemies. So it's pretty quick. I think it's 5 bosses and 50 scorched enemies. Haven't done it yet, but I'm guessing the next step is going to be 200 activity completions.
Yep.
And I also saw a couple dorks that already had it done the very first night on Twitter, like 10 hours after the season dropped.
Yep.
Do you really already have it done, Shadow?
No. There ain't
I was
way.
thinking about my grenade launcher days.
Yeah.
I had to get that Wendigo.
Yeah, that was worth it though.
God, that was so good.
All right. Time for the ad break. Okay. So, as you guys have noticed, the past couple episodes, we have been having a little ad for Zencastr. Zencastr is the program that we use in order to record the show, upload the show, produce the show. It pretty well does everything for you. That's kind of the best part of it. So it's been 142 episodes ago. I was like, hey, we should start our own podcast. And I was like, if you guys will do it, I'll figure out how to do all the other stuff. So luckily, I heard it was like a YouTube video of a podcast that I like to watch. They had mentioned that they had started using Zencastr. I check it out. They have multiple pricing plans, come in, and I came from Xbox. I wasn't a PC dork my entire life. So I didn't really know how to edit anything, produce anything, do sounds, how to take one person on the West Coast, two other guys a couple hours away, and how do we get our audio together and then get it on the internet and to where people can get it on Spotify and iTunes, and how much money is it going to cost, and blah, blah, blah. And I know you have to sound good. That's like the most important thing if you watch of like how to start a podcast. It's like, make sure you sound good. So Zencastr takes care of all that for you. It records all your audio locally and then uploads it to where you're not required over like the voice over internet, the VoIP. So everything's clear. You can get a good microphone for very cheap and you're going to sound like a professional. They take out your ums and your ahs and your stutters and all those things that you get to see in the live version, but you don't get to see or hear rather in the Spotify or iTunes or the podcast version. So we do have a code for you guys. If you go to zencastr.com/pricing, Zencastr, zencastr.com/pricing, and use code DestinyCCPod. That's going to give you 30% off the first month of any Zencastr paid plan. I sent Chado to the website a couple weeks ago, and Chad, can you just give just a little quick view of what you saw whenever you went in?
Yeah, so when you click on you enter in that link, it'll set you up right on their menu so you can look at the pricing for their multiple plans. And then I think it was near the bottom, you can enter in our discount code DestinyCCPod, and then it'll actually adjust the prices right there on the menu, so you don't even have to worry about doing the math yourself or waiting until checkout to even check anything out. So you can see it right then and there and be good to go.
And the couple of times I've been on vacation or sick or have something going on, I know Jared kind of hops in and uploads the stuff for me, and I'm sure he'll attest that it's very easy. Not a lot that if you can read, then you can make it happen. So once again, Zencastr, zencastr.com/DestinyCCPod, and if you check the show notes, we'll have our special link in there that you can follow as well. All right, back to the show, Jared.
All right, it's time for 3 likes and 3 dislikes. Just like everything needs to be balanced with buffs and nerfs, our enjoyment of the game is going to be balanced as well. We're going to talk about something we like and something we didn't like that happened this week. My like this week is Celestial Nighthawk is great again. It's putting out extra damage. It's stacking with artifact mods to put out even more damage and debuff on bosses. And every now and then you come across a beefy target and you take it out with that Celestial shot and you get like 33. You're super back afterwards. Keep getting precision kills and getting that super back quickly. It's very fun. It's a good loop. Interested to see how it's going to be moving forward in this season when you get to a little bit more difficult activities. Like, majority of the time you're at power or maybe -5 for strikes. It's a beast in strikes. Whenever we get into Nightfalls, it's going to be interesting to see if it still stands up at that point.
My like is logging in and having new stuff to do and not having to fight Hive for a while. So I do not really care for the Hive.
My like is new dungeon. Like I said earlier, I like new dungeons. I like figuring out puzzles and doing stuff and loot. And then my dislike is a forced blind well. I don't like it. I didn't like blind well to begin with. If they added more bosses, I might have been like, "Ooh, cool, new stuff." But they didn't, and then I'm gonna save the rest for someone else.
My dislike was opening up the Eververse store and knowing that I had to spend my last 800 silver that was in the bank for a shader pack because I can't help myself when it comes to those, and some of those look pretty cool. So 800 silver, $10 for 4 shaders. Somebody needs to come through the screen and punch me right in my stupid mouth.
You know, as stuff that was in the Eververse this week, that is not something I was too upset about. You know, because I think that equates a little bit more to $8, right? And then so you're like $2 and change per shader. That's not a terrible deal at that point because you can apply it to any armor piece,
God,
any weapon.
Listen to yourself. Listen to the words that are coming out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Think of how much the entire game cost. Free.
This is the guy that bought the shader pack.
I too bought it. It was that was an instant. Oh, I bought silver in order to buy it. I didn't have enough silver. So
I would not have purchased the silver, I don't think. But since I had it, I was like, we're gonna blow it on this.
yeah. My dislike of the week are the changes to Blindwell. It's one thing to put me back in it, but it's another thing that make it more difficult so the freaking blueberries around me won't stop dying and understand the mechanics. I used to be able to burn through it all solo and do it all tier 4. And now, no, you die. The bosses are sponges. You have to go around shooting those stupid blights, just wasting ammo. That way you can kill that stupid meatball again. Like, it takes too much time. Put me back in there fine, but don't make me 10 under. Don't make the enemies 10 above me and bosses to be sponges. Make it fast, make it quick, make it easy. Because your fellow blueberries around you are going to drive you up a wall. It's such a simple mechanic, and they don't even understand it. It's been in the game for 4 years. They still haven't figured it out yet.
Why don't you help them? Like, help them and should type in the chat what you need to do.
Using my fire team Fox, and we used to go around doing public events. I only did like 15% more to finish out the seasonal challenge. And it's one of the ones where you got to step into the blight and then step out and shoot the blight that's in the air. And I literally typed in zone chat, "Hey asshole, won't you stop nuking the blight so we can turn this thing heroic?" And then the second one was like, "Yes, I'm talking to you, you rank 7. No reply. So,
and then the rank 5 was there to pull his machine gun out and melt the blight. Had I known you were behaving like that, I would have melted that boss faster than the other guy could have.
Oh man, that's awesome. I wish I was there for that. That sounds amazing.
Fox was
but
streaming at this time,
public
so I think
event
there
is the
Fox.
worst. It is that public event is the hardest one to make heroic because of that exact reason. Because this game doesn't explain things to new people ever. So there were, dude. I talked to our boy Raider Fred a lot, and we've done the last two raids with him, and I think and I was talking about a public event with him, and this was maybe a year and a half, and he's like, "Wait, what?" And I'm like, "Yeah, blah 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 blah." And I can't remember what exactly it was. He's like, "That's how you do that?" And I was like, "No way, bro." I was like, he's like, yeah, dude, it just becomes heroic, and I'm like, cool. I guess we're good, man. I'm like, all right, man. All right.
Oof.
I mean, it doesn't tell you. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, it just doesn't tell you.
LFG's
So.
gonna work wonders. It really will.
What which raid encounter would be the worst the LFG through?
If it's me, all of them. Not a single one is
Oh.
any different. They're all like, equally bad.
It's got to be that like third room and
Ooh, no, the first room on Crown.
That's
Having to
pretty
explain
bad.
to someone, get over here to the lantern, and then
I
watching them
was-
die
I
because you have to
was-
shoot it.
Yeah, I was thinking Valid Disciple.
that third
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
the first
Yeah.
encounter whenever you got to tell him to shoot light or dark and which
Yeah.
door, and then
Shoot the
the
crystal.
third
Shoot
encounter?
the crystal.
The
What
third
crystal?
encounter, like can break
Third
you.
encounter would be
It
a
can
nightmare.
literally break you.
That will end runs right there.
if you put people that spoke 6 different languages and just imagine that. Imagine how miserable that would be.
Dude,
Yeah.
it only took like a week for the first completely deaf run of VOW. So it's possible. People that literally can't communicate over comms can complete that entire raid
Yeah, I've seen some people like
through
they build
typing
out
chat.
their stream decks to put like all the symbols into game chat.
So you can just
and
hit
stuff.
buttons. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it puts in the chat what symbol.
Yeah.
That's I've seen that too on the big stream decks. You can just go beep boop beep boop. Yeah, that's wild. If we were still doing that raid, I'd try to set that up.
I have it on mine. I can send you the link for it.
Please.
All right. Weapons breakdown. Probably going to start that next week. Hopefully, with first weapons up front or dungeon weapons, as long as we get some of them good drops out of this weekend, and hopefully we have some meta weapons to talk about, because out of the 44 weapons that was released this season, less than half of those are new weapons. They are majority reprised weapons. All right, that takes us
Cool.
to Gambling Corner.
All right, gambling corner. So I guess before we start the new one, let's wrap up last season. Chado was the winner. If you add mine and Jared's score together, we are still at about 60% of Chad's score. So Chad won it going away. So Chad now gets to punish. I take the worst punishment because I had the lowest glimmer amount. Jared still gets punished, but not as bad as I do. So Chad, you want to talk about what you're thinking on this?
Yeah. So for Jared, I'm gonna do something that can happen any time during this season. But it's to help me get my gambit done. I want a good at least 1 hour play session of gambit during a double XP week. Doesn't have to be soon. It could be when there's a dry time. As long as I can help get that title done. But you have to use a sidearm.
Oh my god. Just a sidearm, just one sidearm.
A sidearm.
Okay.
Like I'm not gonna make it super crazy. It's a sidearm.
Use it for
I didn't want to say exotic sidearm because you could actually mess around and do something actually fun with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a sidearm has to be
Yeah.
equipped at all times during this play session.
God.
Now for Ryan,
Just 1 hour?
I want to set a bar here for these.
Should have said
punishments.
5 wins. 5 wins.
5 wins? No, because that could be pretty quick.
It could be quick. It could be miserable.
All right. So now with that in mind, Mr. Not Ryan. I'm gonna make this 5 attempts, actual attempts, at solo flawless Ghost of the Deep. They don't have to happen all at once. As soon as you die, you can stop. That's an attempt, but you have to give an honest effort.
Yeah. Okay.
5 times. And like I said, you can break it up. If you know, because you're the one with the kids, you're the one that has more time, like less time to commit to a actual long play session for things if it's not with all of us. So 5 solid attempts.
That's way better than I thought. Because I thought my punishment was going to be I was going to have to pick a dungeon to solo flawless. And I could pick anyone I wanted. So
that's a nightmare.
That's
even for me, that's a nightmare.
That is what was coming to you guys. Like I was on that. So I think I'm not going to do 5. I think I'm going to do 20 solid attempts.
Oh man. Well, yeah. Okay.
It's a long season, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. You could break that up quite a bit.
20 solid
you
attempts.
Want to adjust yours?
What? No. Mine's just torture. You know, I got nothing out of that.
An hour of Gambit, dude. That's nothing. Because you know I'm going to be playing too. I'm going to be playing too, and we're going to be whipping up on them, and we'll laugh for a little bit. It'll be fun. Mm-hmm. You need to do 10 wins.
I didn't make that one up.
You already made the punishment. I'm not re-punishing myself.
I'm not going to make it worse.
I'm just letting you know.
I am shutting up, and I'm taking my punishment.
Jared, we got to get content, man. We need all the content we can get this year. Mm-hmm. All right. Chad, if you don't care, type those out so we have them and make mine 20 attempts. The reason I say 20 is I'm going to die so many times just getting to the first boss. Like getting through that first like water drop and all that. It's going to be bad.
Yeah. You just always follow
like
one of
5
us.
times. I won't even make it. I won't even make it to the first boss at 5 times. 0% chance. Okay. So the way Gambling Corner works, each season we start with 10,000 glimmer. And we make a bet each week doing things in the game. If at any point you run out of glimmer, you must sacrifice a weapon from your vault that the other 2 members determine the value of for you to buy back in. A weapon that is no longer obtainable, or a weapon that has a high kill count, or something like that is going to hold more value than just like one that you just randomly pulled from the gunsmith, or one that you can craft again and then just auto level it back up, you know, kind of different things there. But what we're going to gamble on, I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Do we want there's going to be our first run of the new dungeon. Do we want to do time? Or do we want to do deaths? I was leaning time, personally.
Yeah, I like time.
Chad has to go first since he won last year.
Okay. It's closest to time on Warlord's Rune. Okay. Gosh, that's so hard because like last time, I'm not a chump, so I didn't look up how we did the last 2. But I will say
I didn't either. Honest to God, I did not.
Yeah. No, I'm not questioning you guys. I'm gonna say hour 25.
Okay. I'm gonna go 2 hours and 22 minutes.
Damn. Okay. That was a good. I thought if I was going second, I was going to say 2 hours. I'm going to say 2 hours and 23 minutes.
2:23.
Yep. We'll make this a 2,000 buy-in ante.
Okay.
What is that? Anything
So
under
right now-
hour 50 something? I win.
Be like 40.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere between
Somewhere
around
halfway
40 and 50.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for Give 'em the Corner. Tune in tomorrow night, probably around 9:30 Eastern Standard. That's probably whenever we'll be jumping in and getting that going. Next up is lore. Chad, what's going on?
Oh boy. Like I said, we're going into the armor. All the armor, like previous seasons, is all the same for the lore, regardless of what class you're on. So all the helmets say the same thing. Make it real easy. We're going to start off helmet down. Descending the grassy sands of the strand, Petra Venge hears the familiar roar of the dreaming city, caught in another predictable brawl. She notes streaks of glass scorch along the sand where dead scorn line the beach and continues moving. Chitin ashes away as she strides through the gardens of Ascilla. She moves unhindered. Travel is never easier than in the wake of a guardian. She smiles. Maybe she would meet them there. Her spirits fade when she reaches Amrita's cave and sees no guardian waiting. It seems they crashed through the city and left, their attention drawn by some greater battle raging elsewhere. Petra minds her footing as she clambers down the slick cave rock and kneels behind the Corsair. Something for the pain? Corsair Amrita tries to stand, winces, and slouches back against the stone wall. Oh, you got my distress signal? I just assumed you were in distress. Petra smiles and removes a small pouch labeled Amrita, as well as a finely carved wooden applicator. Several other named pouches dangle from her belt. Safe bet. Amrita chuckles, voice trailing in soft, tense coughs and unsteady breathing. Stop trying to get up. Petra whisks the contents of the pouch with an applicator, stirring in the aroma of mint, aloe, and musk into the air. Amrita watches her work the mixture over too. Forceful, and the salve would separate. Too soft, and it wouldn't properly adhere to harden in the air. It was a test of consistency, attention, and discipline. I think I'd just like to go now. Wake up from the beginning. Amrita doesn't look up from Petra's hands until they stop. Let me apply the salve. Petra reaches from Amrita's stomach, a hive splinter spike still hot in her gut. Amrita grips Petra's arm as a spasm twists her gut, voice almost a whisper. I don't want to do this anymore, Petra. The words stark with grit. I don't want you to either, Petra says, her eyes meeting Amrita's. But you don't have to suffer needlessly. Petra nods to her arm. Amrita lets go and shifts her armor off the wound. Thank you. Petra smears a thick coating of salve over the burnt, cauterized flesh, which douses the spike and soothes the inflammation. Amrita exhales and leans forward. Go. You've spent enough time with me. I'll be back, sister. Petra grabs Amrita's hand and squeezes it. We will find a way out. Just not today. Moving on to arms. Patrolling with pickup fire teams isn't the greatest work, but, as Shaw likes to say, you can't let life get you down when you've got so much of it. He picks up a mission to clear out Vex on Io, down in caves so deep they didn't even notice the pyramid ships overhead. They barely escape in time to watch it get swallowed by nothingness. Just gone. All right, lesson learned. No more caves. The next gig's on Europa, and Shaw's fire team bails on him. They don't even try to break him out of the crystal when he gets got by Fallen playing with stasis. It takes the whole flight home to feel warm again. All right, lesson learned. Time to settle down. Go steady with a real team. People he can trust. Shaw feels better as soon as he drafts the message. And while he waits for replies, the city's waiting for him, full of light and life. Everything else you can think of. Antique House of Wolves cloaks, guaranteed genuine Vex metalworks, fresh baklava. And his pockets are finally full of glimmer. As he walks, a vendor calls out, "Bones, let's wear some bones." A lizard skull stares out at Shaw from the shoulder of a gauntlet and pauldron set. Spikes along one forearm. Real stylish. And on sale. Might be a tight fit for Shaw's guns, though. The vendor doesn't even blink as Shaw tests his mobility right there in the stall. Shaw thinks to himself, it's no way to live, constantly hunting down gigs, falling into swamps or methane snowdrifts without a friend to pull him out, always burning his pay on gear to keep up. It'd be nice to have a steady gig, a real team, someplace he won't get his atoms scattered weekly by the latest alien in the system with a chip on their shoulder. He swings his arm. Pauldron feels good. Not too tight at all. Perfect, really. Funny he ever thought otherwise. Shaw heads back to the tower with a spring in his step and a skull on his arm. His ghost routes a message his way from the Vanguard network. Caster 3. I saw your post looking for a steady fire team. I think I had a dream about you. We should meet. Yeah, Shaw's got a good feeling about this one. Chest. Archite 9940 holds the cable taut while Lord Shax fastens the final anchor with a few swings of a fiery hammer. When Shax gives the nod, Archite tests the give, then releases the cable. They look up at a massive tusked skull that now looms majestically over the Crucible staging area. The occasion has attracted a small crowd of observers, a mixed group of citizens and guardians who murmur among themselves or simply stare, be it in awe or disapproval. Shax ignores them, crossing his arms and gazing up at his trophy. The speaker would not approve of this, Archite observes. Shax ignores this too. This is a lesson, Archite. I want these newbies to look at this and know that there's always something worse out there, something meaner and more powerful. Something like the Red Legion. Archite supplies a foe to catch them all unawares. Temptation, Shax corrects. Self-destruction. Archite looks up again at the skull and scans it for energy signals. And it can be killed. Shax nods, satisfied. Something always remains, but it can be killed. Archite picks up a faint whisper, an audio signal too faint and garbled to process into intelligible language. When he scans for it, it's gone. Legs. Report by VanNet encrypted router. Eris to NM0. Morn. Your findings are consistent with mine. The egregore festers where the veil touches as if it projects a field across Sol. I could feel it when I took my tithing. Do you mean to map it? NM001. I could, but the egregore only shows us where the veil's influence has marked our plane in the past. The areas where the veil's influence currently holds sway are not so easily identified. This does progress some working theories, however. I wish I had been there to face Savathun and Zivo Roth with you. Morn. I would not expect you to endanger yourself. NM. Is that so? How did it feel to face her? Morn. Like judgment, long overdue for a moment. NM. I was incensed to hear she was allowed to live. Morn. I was not pleased either. But if it is vengeance you crave, know that it has been exacted. I tore from Zivo Roth what she tore from you. NM. Good. Morn. And Savathun. She knows our true enemy. There will come a day when she meets your retribution as well. NM. Yes, for now, victory over vengeance. Morn. It is inevitable, Osiris. She will turn on us again, and we will strike her down. Finally, class. The bazaar atop a balcony. Taiki 4 sips hot broth from a takeout container. I wish I could win just one match, Barrow says to her, sagging morosely against the railing. Taiki 4 elbows him gently. Killing other guardians all day isn't the only way to help the city, you know. Easy for you to say. You're not the one who's been hiding from Shax for weeks. Hey, don't laugh. The annex beneath the stairs. The look on their faces, Nakato says, laughing breathlessly. I can't believe he staked that sparrow of his. Guardians really do think they can't lose. Her Elixir companion makes a chuffing noise and rattles off in an incomprehensible stream of words. Nakato catches skilled and cheat, though, and smiles. Even the most backhanded of compliments are better than none. You know, you're quick at hand of cards. And everyone's throwing around Glimmer like there's no tomorrow. If you wanted to stick together a while. The Elixir blinks at her, mulling it over, then nods. Nakato grins and claps her new friend on the back. That's the spirit. Wish I'd met you years ago. The hangar within a maintenance closet. Velibor sits hidden in the dark, racked by helpless convulsions of grief. I wish they were all still here. I can't do this without them. Augur settles at her guardian's shoulder. You need to talk to someone, Vel. I should have been there. I could have saved them. I wish I'd never let them go. Outside the tower offices, a stray cat regards Dimas disdainfully from a windowsill, then resumes washing its paws. I wish I had a cat, Dimas exclaims. Here, cat. Dimas inches closer to the indifferent feline. It must be a good life, sitting around the tower without worrying about light or dark or much of anything at all. The cat doesn't look up. Dimas thinks for a moment. I wish I was a cat. A tower sub-basement between the stacks. I think that's it, Serge says. Once we've sealed up this last one, we're done for the day. Not bad for an honest day's work, the frame says. It speaks in the same amiable tone of voice it applies to every statement, but Serge still finds himself smiling. You said it, buddy. Serge looks on as the frame effortlessly fits the final plate of ion shielding into place. It hums as it works, a little tune Serge taught it on his second day on the job. That the day goes by a lot faster with someone to talk to. Just wish you could understand me. Really understand, I mean. Yes, says the frame. I wish that also. That last one's got a lot of wishes in it. Lots of wishes with an Aham Carbone just whole skull just sitting right next to Shaxx. All these wishes in the tower happening at once. That's not gonna come around anytime soon.
Of course not. All right, now it's gonna be time for the mailbag. All right.
Question 1. Does it feel like the Destiny crowd is more eager than ever to hate Destiny?
Yeah, definitely seems that way right now, or at least that's what is all that's getting upvoted on Reddit and the most views on YouTube.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is definitely backlash on the official date push. And it's just people were already angry, and angry people only want a reason to be more angry. You know, everybody, misery loves company. If you're already in a bad place and something else bad happens, or even if it's not even that bad at all, it becomes a huge thing. Now I can agree with some of the sentiment out there, but they really latched onto this season off the rip, day one. It usually takes them until after the twin, at least.
It feels very Curse of Osiris-y right now. Yeah, I don't know. I think part of it is everybody's been playing this game or coming back and forth to it for 8 or 9 years, and like they're on an old engine, on an old game. And, happiness is a function of expectations. I didn't expect this season to look any different than the last 3 this year. I know I mentioned that to Jared, and Jared had said, they had mentioned that they were looking at changing things up. And I believe that was last season was supposed to be when things were starting to look different. They don't look different. I understand people are upset by that. I feel like I've spent way more money on way worse things that I've enjoyed. So, I don't only get 2 games a year anymore. So I don't feel quite as burned when it comes to things like this.
Um, yeah, I think like the start of this season is like people look forward to certain things, and it is the expectations. But like, we always got recently we've always gotten a reprise raid weapon rework. So like, my thoughts of Garden Salvation weapons were going to be like get new loot pours, become web borders, and all that stuff, and it didn't happen. We didn't get new exotic armor. Like those two things there, kind of like people look forward to as a reason to log in and do lost sectors and get together in 2 raids. That's now gone. So hopefully this dungeon's good. All right, question 2.
Question 2. Does the warlord being in the title of the dungeon mean that we are fighting Scorn?
Yeah, I think they said it in the description. Scorn and Taken are going to be the enemies there.
Oof.
Yeah, so expect.
I like Taken, but
yeah, Scorner, no fun. Expect probably mostly Scorn bosses with Taken around, but they battle each other, don't they? Right now, because the Taken are like a part, like the Witnesses brood, and the Scorn are just doing whatever, or is it the other way around? I can't remember. I feel like they're fighting each other. I just don't remember why.
No, I think the Witness has them all now, but on the Dream
Has them both.
City, they like on the Dream City, it's back in time when that's not the case. So they do fight while on the Dreaming City.
Okay, gotcha. And since we've been spending the last couple days in the Dreaming City,
Yeah.
Gotcha. I gotcha. That's why my brain's like that. Okay, that makes sense.
yeah, because it was the Flower Vex. I noticed like that you were fighting.
Yeah. It was a Soul Divisive, which are I think Soul Divisive, which are the ones that worship the Black Heart, which are the ones that are on the Witnesses side.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be Scorn or Taken. Whatever I seen the seasonal mod was going to be do extra damage to Scorn or Taken. That just means that's what I thought the enemies in the dungeon was going to be. Question 3: which character class is best for PvP, and which is the best for PvE? Which is the best for you to plan to play both? Which is best if you plan to play both? Okay.
PvP is Hunter, right?
At times it's been, and also at times Warlock was best. So but Titan, until like last season, Titan was on top for like 3 seasons in a row between Bubble and Juggernaut.
I just remember just getting hit from 90-degree angles with knees for entirely too long.
And getting killed by the same Juggernaut super 2 or 3 times in a row. But literally the same exact cast. Oh man.
The Hunter's probably easiest
for the
to
average.
use.
For the average player, Hunter is probably going to be best for PvP.
Yeah.
But like the movement stuff with the Warlock with like Icarus Dash can do a lot, and you can kind of attack from different angles because you can like hover on the Warlock and things with certain builds. So I don't know. I would think Titan or Warlock for PvE probably.
I think Titan was PvE until this season because the nerf the bonk hammers. Now I think it's Warlock.
Yeah, because you always have the well that you can use, like if you're doing solo stuff, and then like your Devour, Void, and Arc. I mean, there's a lot you can play any subclass really.
Yeah.
Probably Warlock for PvE.
And then
So overall Warlock.
yeah. I mean, Warlock's the most used character on day one raids.
That's because of WoW.
Yeah, always be able to throw
I
down
bet-
a healing rift.
I wish we had 2. I wish we had 2 more.
Yeah.
Wish we ran 4 Warlocks on day 1 raids.
Yeah.
I mean, this fire team can compose of 3 of them.
The
And
rest of the
typically
fire
one
team
of us
can't.
to switch. Yeah. The other ones are always hunters. Like,
Yeah.
you guys know hunters aren't good in day 1 raids. Stop it. Stop trying to be edgy.
Take your black shaders off.
No. They come with me wherever I go. Question number 4. Have you changed your Sparrow from always on time yet? And if you could choose a custom paint job, what color scheme would you like?
Oh, color scheme? Custom paint job I thought was decals and stuff.
Yeah,
I was gonna say some random anime
What's harder to
waifu.
say?
You know, like
Anime.
your regular weeaboo.
Yeah.
No, I have not changed my Sparrow, but there are a lot of those mini Sparrows that I do like to play because they're fun. You know, like the little inner tube in like the tube one, and there's so many good mini Sparrows that are just great. But custom paint job, all black, Vanta black.
Yeah. You know, I would like a good Kentucky blue with that nice clean white going through it pinstripe wise. Don't feel like I've really found that color combination in game yet. There's always something weird thrown in there. Just straight, just royal blue and white. That's it. Just those 2 colors.
I feel like I can see those colors right now, just right in my mind. I can picture what you're talking about.
Yep.
It's on the top of my head. Someone's head.
If it's just colors, definitely blue and white. If we're gonna do decals, I'd probably Del Earnhardt. I would say probably be my my first thought. Get the number 3 out, you know, on the side of it. The better question is, if you could have custom logos and paint jobs, what percent of the ones that you see of other players would you know what the hell is on their Sparrow?
Only
Chad
if it's,
mentions like an
anime
anime
waifu.
waifu, and I'm like, there's gonna be a shitload of
Or if
those,
it's
and I
Bando,
will
no
not know
judgment
any
here.
of them.
Yeah.
There's gonna be Dragon Ball Z characters or something on there.
Oh man.
Dude, that wouldn't be too bad. Like Goku is like shooting like towards the back of the Sparrow, and then the Sparrow has to
Yeah,
come out.
okay,
as
yeah. On the back of the Sparrow.
Yeah.
Is he the bald-headed one or the one that wears the orange jumpsuit?
He's trying really hard to make a lot of people mad right now.
That's just so far off. I know he's just doing it on purpose.
No, I'm really. I thought who's the one that wears the orange?
They both wear orange, technically. There's so many of them wear orange.
The one with the black hair. That's like, I see that guy and the bald guy. What are their names?
Goku and Vegeta have black hair, and then
Vegeta, that's it.
And then they would go.
No, the bald hair guy is Krillin, the bald head with the 6 dots.
Oh, you're talking about yeah. But I was just talking about black hair guys, and then they will go gold.
Yeah, but he was talking about the bald head guy and the black hair guy.
Dorks.
Dude, I don't
Last
know.
question.
Don't most of them have black hair?
Yeah.
Last question. What'd you say about black hair?
Most of them have black hair. Most of them.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Is it like the Goku's mom when he was a kid, or like one of the women just like they have like the only ones with brown hair? Okay.
Stop. I'm gonna have to cut that part out now.
You started.
Last question. Pick a number between 1 and 100.
28.
63.
I I'm going to say 29. On the third roll, I have it pulled up on the Twitch if anybody wants to verify. Roll 1, roll 2, roll 3, 80. 80. Somebody will add that to the bottom of the rundown. All right. One day, one of us are going to hit it, and it's going to be awesome. Hopefully, maybe. Let's see. We've done
Gonna
it.
be just your regular Yallerhorn drop moment.
12. We've run it 12 times. So nobody's hit it yet. Looks like the play 80's hit twice already.
What are the chances of that? Somebody do the monster math.
Yeah, looks like 80's the play. I'm just gonna start going 80 every time now, I think.
And we never hit 80 again.
All right. That brings us to the end of episode 141 of the Conqueror's Corner podcast. I am the Destiny Bad Boy, NotRyanFox. Remember, follow us on Twitter at DestinyCCPod, Zencastr.com/pricing with code DestinyCCPod as well. I'm going to let these other two guys sign off.
Celestial Nighthawk. Probably what I'm going to be used going into the dungeon. If I switch off of that, I will be going to some kind of Void Hunter build.
I'm going to be going Titan, and if need be, I will be a Warlock buddy with my homie, Mr. NotRyanFox.
As always, go Cats. Love you guys.